as we take a moment to reflect here, this area that we've seen, and you saw a shot of what's called the crypt, where those big pillars are, packed with those insurrectionists just 2 weeks ago, chanting words like "hang Mike Pence," chanting about wanting to find lawmakers in their offices and bring them, in their words, to justice. It is such a different scene today. And I think it's powerful, and one of the reasons why you saw the Biden team push so hard to make sure that despite all the security measures in place in Washington, and this is my third inauguration, and I'll tell you, it looks very different than all the rest, at least from our perspective, he is able to stand on the West Front and do this. Typically, it's one of the things we get to do is spot people, talk about who we see. It's a lot harder to do when everyone's wearing masks. That's another big change here. As I look out from the risers of the West Front, social distancing is in place for all of these chairs. Masks are virtually on every single person that I've seen so far. They are all but a requirement here. And that is a significant change to what we've seen. As you both know, typically you're packed like sardines here. It is another sign, as we saw last night with the president-elect's service there at the Lincoln Memorial, another sign that the backdrop to all this is not just the political disunity, the discord, the concern about where this country goes from that perspective. It's the pandemic, and that is the #1 priority for President-elect Biden moving forward.
Hallie Jackson, thank you.
Thank you so much, and we are joined by someone who has a unique perspective on these events, former Vice President Al Gore, who of course served in the Clinton administration, was the 2000 Democratic nominee for president, and we all know the rest of the story after there. Mr. Vice President, thank you for being with us this morning.
Thank you for inviting me, Savannah. It's a happy day.
What are your thoughts as you see this ritual of democracy, and not like any way we've seen it before because of the pandemic, because of what happened at the Capitol, but yet it goes on? What does it mean to you?
It means our republic lives, the center has held, democracy will return in full spirit. It means to me that when Joe Biden walks into the Oval Office not long from now, science will walk in with him. A reverence for truth will walk in with him. A commitment to seeking bipartisan solutions to our country's problems will walk in with him. Empathy will walk in with him. And I'm overcome with the hopefulness that this ceremony brings to us.
What is the significance of the absence of the outgoing president as part of this? Did Donald Trump, in some ways, do Joe Biden a favor by not being here?
Well, I had to chuckle just a little bit, Lester, when Joe Biden was asked about Trump's decision, and he said it was one of the few things he agreed with him on. You could argue it both ways. In some ways, it would be good for him to be there and uphold the traditions of our country, but under all the circumstances, it's just fine that he's not there.
Mr. Vice President, forgive me for getting personal. I know this is not your favorite subject, but we would be remiss if we didn't ask you what it was like. Because 20 years ago, where were you on this day? You were right there, having lost a hard, bitterly fought election, the recount, 534 votes, and you came. And in fact, I believe you presided over the January 6th certification of the electoral votes as the president of the Senate, since you were vice president then. What was that like for you in those moments? What was going through your mind?
Well, thank you for asking, Savannah. And the answer is actually pretty simple, because the importance of the United States of America in all of human history. In Lincoln's phrase, we still are the last best hope of humankind.